Cameroonians react in anger and indignation at attacks aimed at disrupting the private stay of the presidential couple in Europe. The university community and other citizens at home and abroad condemn such abominable and anti-patriotic acts. It is holiday time and holidaymakers are in earnest occupying themselves with holiday jobs to generate income. But how easy do these jobs come by? Find out in this newscast. And in sports, the finals of Cameroon's Cricket and Handball Cup will be played this weekend alongside Elite One matches, where Group A leader Coton Sport plays Tonnerre in Garoua. Details in our weekend sports review. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I am Freddy Eta Bisson. Stay tuned.
I urge you once again to put on your face masks, to wash your hands regularly, and to consult a physician or any other health personnel if you notice any symptoms. This is the only way to save lives and to curb the spread of the virus.
Welcome again. The Cameroonian diaspora have denounced some of theirs planning to organize a protest march abroad this Saturday. According to them, the protest directed against the head of state tarnished the image of Cameroon and is an attack on the president. Such a constitutional affront will only weaken peace and should be rejected by all Cameroonians wherever they find themselves. Chief International Correspondent Charles Ebouné opens a dossier on reactions against anti-patriotic protests in Europe.
Oh yes, excessively this country, Cameroon, is sweet.
We are here for peace, we are here for unity, we are here for one Cameroon. We don't belong to any political party, we are all Cameroonians, we love our country.
Cameroon is sweet everywhere you go, like here in Lyon, France, like here in New York, the United States of America. And if Cameroon is sweet with all its people liking peace, it is because of this man, Paul Biya, the choice of the people, solidly re-elected in 2018 for another 7-year term. The diaspora vote was one of the key factors for the Biya 2018 sounding victory. Just an irony for a portion of the same diaspora to attempt an attack on the inviolability of the head of state enshrined in the constitution. The head of state is a temple of the state, and any attempt like the planned Saturday protest to violate first his physical integrity and second his constitutional personality by fellow countrymen is simply disgrace, like late Cameroonian playwright Batebison wrote. Thank God the Swiss authorities have cancelled it. Everywhere the head of state is found, he incarnates Cameroon, a man of peace. No need for any pro or anti-Biya protests to take place because Cameroonians do not need to fight each other.
We want peace in our country and we will fight for peace in our country.
To the planners of Saturday's protest, which only further tarnishes the image of the collective good Cameroon, remember this heavenly message: nothing good comes from the devil. Drop the idea and go deep placidly.
Back home, the university community in Cameroon has described as totally unacceptable the attitude of some Cameroonians in the diaspora who are threatening to disrupt the private stay of the presidential couple in Europe. University dons have been voicing their disapproval of the attitude. Ebenezer Kanga talked to some university lecturers and put together the following report.
The unpatriotic behavior of some Cameroonians in the diaspora who have threatened to disrupt the private stay of the presidential couple in Europe is a topic for intense discussions in the university milieu. University dons have been voicing their opinions on the issue, which they describe as totally unacceptable.
I felt bad, of course, summarily, for such embarrassment. He is the president of the state. He's our president. We don't have two presidents in this country. And I will strongly, criticize those who are perpetuating such an embarrassment.
As intellectual honesty, the university professors admit that there are problems in Cameroon, but the way to solve them is not by disrupting the private stay of the presidential couple in Europe.
To pick up sticks and stones and rotten tomatoes and attack the head of state, I think definitely that is incorrect. If you train your child to begin to contest things like that, whoever gets there will face the same kind of situation. So that's not something we want to encourage.
The university community is appealing to the Cameroonian diaspora to be a diaspora of development, not one of destruction.
Nationwide condemnation continues to pour into a central newsroom from the regions as Cameroonians vehemently denounce demonstrations carried out by some minority communities of the Cameroonian diaspora with intent to perturb the private stay of the presidential couple in Europe. From the reactions, Cameroonians are unanimous that the diaspora community have the obligation to respect the President of the Republic, who is democratically elected with legitimate powers to head a sovereign people. Constantine Baum compiled the reactions of these Cameroonians in the following report.
From the north, south, east and west of the country, the people have strongly denounced plans of some minority diaspora communities, with the people of the Grand North saying no to anti-beer manifestations.
I would like to condemn this kind of practice. The institution of the President of the Republic is the high institution for our country. It is an irresponsible act.
Those people are acting against our country. It is not a good thing. It is a bad image.
The country is not a paradise, but I think that is not the reason that we go against our president. All what we are doing now is not to our advantage.
The Grassfield region says such acts are totally unacceptable.
Full shocking and above all saddening what some of our brothers and sisters display as behavior towards the person embodies the national institution. President Paul Biya was elected by universal suffrage.
Embarrassed to see Cameroonians out there insulting the head of state, insulting Paul Biya. They're not insulting the Paul Biya, they're insulting the country. Paul Biya is the head of state representing the country. And it's so shameful to see them move with the flag of the country and then at the same time insulting their own country. Those our brothers who think that it is not his place or he has overdue to be there. Democratically, elections have come and gone and they are still to come. So they too have the latitude to come into Cameroon and to vote against the president whom they are using now like in protesting against him in public.
In the Central region, regardless of political leaning, the people are of the opinion that the diaspora has to remain focused on the reconstruction plan.
Cameroonians are not happy. Normally, our president for all Cameroonians, no matter how they are still in power, but we must always abide rule and regulation.
Dialogue should be the best way to solve any problem that we might face as a country, rather than manifesting anti-patriotic acts.
According to the reactions, in overall, Cameroon remains a great and united nation as the people continue to work with the leader they freely voted.
The Minister of Communication has issued a press statement frowning at the unruly behavior of some Cameroonians in the diaspora following attacks on the personality of the head of state. Rene Emmanuel Sadi, government spokesperson, calls on the entire nation and particularly those living abroad to be patriotic and responsible. Yves Formoso reads meanings from the press statement.
A press statement that makes clear the role and position of the head of state. Communication Minister says the head of state, according to the constitution, represents the entire nation. He adds that the head of state is not the head of a region, a group or community, but the entire nation. He frowns at the unruly behavior of some nationals abroad while reinstating that any attack to the personality of the President of the Republic is an attack to the entire nation, and the President of the Republic condemns such acts that speak ill of a responsible nation. Government spokesperson through the release calls on Cameroonians living in the diaspora to be patriotic and to desist from meddling in the affairs of a few opportunists who wait for the slightest opportunity to rubbish their nation. René Emmanuel Sadi says some of the challenges Cameroon is facing are issues that should be solved within the nation. He further enjoins Cameroonians, and particularly those of the diaspora, to be law-abiding citizens.
Would I bring you a communique from the government? It reads, the Swiss government has just banned the holding of the demonstration of the bus MRC planned for May 17, 2021 in Geneva, Switzerland. The Minister, Director of the Civil Cabinet of the Presidency of the Republic, His Excellency Samuel Mvondo Ayolo, conveys to the entire nation the satisfaction of the President of the Republic, His Excellency Paul Biya, for the appropriation of his message of peace and fraternization of all the daughters and sons of Cameroon. To the attention of the national and international community, the Director of the Civil Cabinet of the Presidency of the Republic of Cameroon, after explaining to the Swiss authorities the nature of the Cameroonian political system, namely, as everyone knows, a great democratic nation at the head of which is a great leader, democratically elected and with all the legitimacy and all the legality which exercises the mission of the sovereign people entrusted to him in strict compliance with the universally established democratic practices in all the major liberal democracies of the world. After explaining to the Swiss authorities the essentially ethno-fascist powers of the groups of activists fighting the power of Yaoundé, their acts and actions, and in particular the anti-republican motivations of the authors of the demonstration initially planned for Saturday, 17 July 2021 in Geneva, finally, after having presented the alliance of the said groups of fanatical activists of the bus MRC with the supporters of the violent secessionist theories, has just obtained from the Swiss authorities the cancellation of the demonstration of the bus MRC announced pompously for Saturday, July 17, 2021. Cameroon remains and will remain a great nation. The Cameroonian people, united and fraternal, continue to march forward, united with the leader whom they freely chose, His Excellency President Paul Biya. And now on to our series, Cameroon, My Beautiful Country. We take you to Baturi in the East region, home to one of nature's wonders, a rock suspended on a slopy rocky hill at the Bugogo Marial Sanctuary, considered as a holy site for spiritual retreats by the population of the town. It has been a center of attraction for Christians and tourists alike. Celestine Sumbele of CRTV East is our guide.
The Bobogo Maria Sanctuary, situated some 10 kilometers away from the town of Baturi, Kade Division in the east, is today an outstanding center of attraction for tourists and visitors.
This is the mystery that brings us here after everything that you have seen or heard. Is this huge rock that has maintained or found its stability on a slopy site and practically being supported by nothing. It has been here for so many years, and it's a mystery that so many people have been trying to define.
Today, the Hodius, or better still, the magnificent Rocky Mountain, has been transformed into a holy ground for spiritual retreats for most Catholic Christians.
This sanctuary occupies a central place in the lives of people of Kade Division and the Catholic Christians in particular, because the sites assemble people of all denominations in life.
The sanctuary that occupies an important place in the lives of worshippers and the population in general consists of an equipped conference hall, accommodations, and tents as biblical symbols.
On to this presidential order declaring a public holiday on Monday, 19th July 2021. It reads, the President of the Republic, mindful of the Constitution, mindful of Law number 73/5 of 7 December 1973 to regulate public holidays, as amended and supplemented by Law number 76/8 of 8 July 1976, hereby orders as follows. Article 1. Monday, 19 July 2021 is declared a public holiday throughout the Republic of Cameroon. Article 2. This order shall be registered, published according to the procedure of urgency, and inserted in the official gazette in English and French. And this is done in Yaoundé, this 16th day of July 2021, signed Paul Biya, President of the Republic. Over 100 youths of different ages in Yaoundé have been called upon to make use of the holiday activities organized by the Omnisport Multisports Gymnasium to better their skills in certain disciplines. The call was made today by Sports and Physical Education Minister Professor Narcisse Mwele Kombi as he launched the one-month holiday sports and leisure activities at the Omnisport Multisports Gymnasium. Details with Baldwin Summer.
There are over 100 youths of different ages who will for several weeks have their holidays spiced as they will sharpen their skills in 15 different disciplines here at the Omnisport Multisports Gymnasium. Launching the holiday activities, Sports and Physical Education Minister Professor Narcisse Mwele Kombi called on the youths to be disciplined and ready to learn throughout their stay here. He visited each activity organized with collective and individual sports involved.
The objective of these activities is to present this infrastructure to the public. Yaoundé 5 has not this sort of infrastructure, and after the handball can, it was the only way.
Nowadays, getting these jobs is considered as a station of the cross, with the situation worsened by the COVID-19 pandemic. Rita Makang reports that holidaymakers face difficulties during this process. Her report.
Many are asking, but few are retained. This is the situation of holiday jobs since the advent of the invisible enemy, coronavirus, 2 years now.
Now that we are hit by the coronavirus pandemic, it's very difficult to get a holiday job because when we go and deposit, most of the people fear the pandemic, so no one would like to be infected.
The COVID-19 pandemic did not hinder the seasonal recruitment of some youths for the holiday jobs at the National Employment Fund.
We have admitted some young people. We have limited in respect of mesure barrière.
Other reasons are put forward to explain these difficulties in obtaining holiday jobs.
I applied for a holiday job in 2019 now. It was very stressful, so compiling documents to go and deposit, the interview, some even had concourse that you had to write now to pass, then they choose the number of people that they needed.
With the hitches encountered, holidaymakers say they are willing to work, but just what to do and where is not always readily forthcoming.
The long holiday period is usually one for some students to spend time on enterprises in order to gain practical know-how in various domains and earn some money for themselves. Our reporter Alice Mbe immersed herself in some structures around Yaoundé to find out how these part-time jobbers fare and how the concerned enterprises assist them in acquiring requisite competence that will be useful to them in the job market. Her report.
Matrix Telecom Enterprise Ngusu, holiday jobbers are set for 2 months training.
I came here to learn more about network
in practice, to learn more of what they do in the field, because what I learn in school is most of theoretical. What we do in practice is mostly in virtual machines and in systems.
While at the National Employment Fund, authorities say this period is an opportunity for students to widen their knowledge.
Each Wednesday afternoon, we bring some young people in the enterprises so that they have the reality of the enterprises. The target of this program is to help those young people to be oriented in terms of professional for tomorrow.
Students are expected to acquire competence that will assist them face the job market.
It is important for us to train the youth, give them the theory and practical values in different fields. We welcome them and assign heads of units to take care of them. We also assist those who are serious financially.
These students are mostly from colleges, universities, or those who want to further their studies.
The Minister of Finance, Louis-Paul Motaze, has been received in audience by the President of the Republic of Congo, His Excellency Denis Sassou Nguesso. Representing His Excellency Paul Biya, the objective of the visit was to review progress of projects in the Semak sub-region, notably the mining project in Mbalam, Cameroon, the Nabela project in Congo, and the hydroelectric dam linking both countries. Luma Slim Davis has the report.
Minister of Finance Louis-Paul Motaze, who was a special envoy of the President of Cameroon, His Excellency Paul Biya, handed a sealed message from the Cameroonian President to his Congolese counterpart, His Excellency Sassou Nguesso.
Je suis envoyé du président Biya du Cameroun auprès de
I am an envoy of President Biya of Cameroon to his brother and friend, President Sassou Nguesso. President Sassou Nguesso asked me some questions. We generally talked on cooperation. You know, when two heads of state consult, it is usually on cooperation between the two countries, which fortunately is very cordial. But you know also that we are members of Semak. President Sassou talked on the strategy to relaunch development activities in Semak, that is, reforms of the economy of Semak. Here, he gave some ideas and orientations for us to transmit to President Paul Biya.
The content of the message from President Paul Biya was not revealed to the press, but Louis-Paul Motaze pointed out that it centered on development projects outlined for Semak's integration. It should be recalled that the special envoy of His Excellency Paul Biya was last Wednesday received in audience by President Faustin Archange Touadéra of the Central African Republic on the same score of the Congolese visit.
And you're watching CRTV News. 100 students of the 23rd batch of students of the Adventist University of Kosendai in Nangai Boko have received their end of course attestations after 3 years of studies. During a graduation ceremony yesterday, the graduates were called upon to put their knowledge acquired at the service of the community where they will be called to serve. Details with Baldwin Summer.
A solemn procession for a unique batch of students of the Kosendai Adventist University named Light Bearers, as these 100 students from Cameroon, Gabon, the Central African Republic and Chad, most for 3 years, have acquired knowledge in different disciplines like theology, computer sciences and health sciences.
I am in the Yaoundé campus, so we did our education in Yaoundé. So it was so wonderful. The teachers, not to talk of the director, Mr. Menge, he did a lot for us, encouraged us, because we are workers already to go back to school. It wasn't easy for us.
During a graduation ceremony on one of the university's campuses in Nanga Eboko, the graduates during the different speeches were called upon to be true ambassadors of the university.
I'm very proud of our students and all the staff for what has been done for this ceremony. They have worked hard, and I think that we can just thank the Lord for what He has done for us.
Advise them to be humble, and that as torchbearers, they needed to continue to practice in a Christian way all that they have learned.
As they each received their end of course attestations, there was an oath taken by some nurses with outstanding students of the university who received some special prizes as they get ready for the job market where they expected to excel.
Despite our efforts, COVID-19 plunged many families into mourning and seriously hampered the functioning of our economy and society.
The mass vaccination campaign against the coronavirus launched by government officially ended today, although vaccinations continue in the 10 regions of the country. A major concern among Cameroonians, however, is what new lifestyle to adopt after being vaccinated. For more, let us join Baldwin Sama at the Public Health Emergency Center, where he is with his guest, Dr. Joseph Fokem. Hello, Baldwin.
Good evening to you. It remains a major concern, especially for those who've already had themselves vaccinated against the coronavirus. This is how to live with the coronavirus after vaccination. Let's find out from our guest, Dr. Joseph Fokem. He is a virologist. Good evening to you, Doctor.
Good evening, Baldwin.
How do we live? What new style does one have to embrace after vaccination, having to deal with the coronavirus?
Baldwin, we are entering a new phase in Cameroon whereby we now have more than 200,000 people who have been vaccinated. It's already a good news, but still there is still much to be done. Why? Because at the public health level, even 300,000 people being vaccinated doesn't yet have a mass immunization. So in this context where the vaccine coverage is still low, even though encouraging, we really want everyone who is vaccinated to still continue wearing his face mask, to still continue respecting the barrier measures. And why? Because we need to achieve about 70% of herd immunity before we may start relaxing those barrier measures, knowing that vaccine is just one of the components against COVID-19 infection. So we really want everyone to make sure, please, you are vaccinated. It's a good news. It means you have lower risks of being infected, and even if you fall among those fewer cases that may get infected, you stand a high chance of not experiencing the disease anymore. So the vaccine is very important, but please, for the moment, let's continue with our barrier measures while hoping we shall achieve a maximum coverage whereby circulation without the mask might become possible.
Thank you so much for that reassurance, Dr. Joseph Fokem. For those who are still dragging their feet, who are still reluctant to have themselves vaccinated, this is an opportunity. Don't hesitate. Get yourselves vaccinated against the coronavirus. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Baldwin. And on to more news now. Famous Cameroonian singer and member of the famous group Zangalewa, Ani Anzoué, will be live this weekend for the launch of the 4th edition of Vendredi the Star in Yaoundé. In the following report, Victor Siga presents major cultural events scheduled for this weekend.
Begin the weekend on a big routine note with Tonton Ebogo at the bass on a 2-day grand show at Le Village de l'Ambiance Tropicale, Yaoundé, as from 8 p.m. Still tonight, be live at Snack Bar Le Repère VIP as from 8 p.m. with Ani Anzoué on the occasion of the 4th edition of Vendredi the Star. Celebrate 15 years of professional career with Major Assé at Joga Palace Hotel Yaoundé as from 8 p.m. He will be accompanied by comedians like Kaiser Show and Moustique le Charismatique. We'll be live this Saturday at Planet Pons Yaoundé alongside Kabel and Gabindomo. 7 p.m. is the kickstart time. Flavie, Dynastylotique, Mathematique de Petit Pays and Shura will be thrilling you over the weekend with their concept Delicious Heaven Live Show in Yaoundé. Take the rendezvous this Saturday. Make it a date and dance with Timitoro at Central Park Yaoundé as from 8 p.m. Happy weekend.
The finals of the Cup of Cameroonian Cricket and Handball will be played this weekend alongside Elite One matches. In the Elite One games, Group A leaders Fovu Club will challenge Dragon of Yaoundé in Bafoussam, while Coton Sport plays Tonnerre in Garoua. We have details of those stories with Daniel Ekonde.
AS Fortuna will eye a place at the top of Group A when they meet Stade Renard this Saturday at the Amadou Ahidjo Stadium. The match, scheduled for 3:30 p.m., is one of the 13 Group A games of the Elite One programmed this weekend. Group leaders Fufu Club play Dragon Yaoundé at 3:30 p.m. in Bafoussam, while in Group B, leaders Coton Sport welcome Tonnerre on Sunday in Garoua. Young Sport Academy will aim for a second win in the second phase when they meet Astre at 3 p.m. in Douala. The Guinness Super League continues this Sunday with 3 fixtures. Amazon Fab will be looking to close the point gap with Awa FC and Louvmen Prof at the top of the table when they meet Eclair at 3 p.m. at the Amadou Ahidjo Stadium. The winners of the Cricket Cup of Cameroon will be known this Sunday in the open space of the Olembe Sports Complex in Yaoundé. Emergence Cricket play Falcons in the women's game and Corps Pioneer match up Sixers Cricket. Then handball clubs will start disputing the Cup of Cameroon this weekend, with matches taking place in Douala, Yaoundé and Chang.
Before we go, a recapitulation of the headlines. Cameroonians react in anger and indignation at attacks aimed at disrupting the private stay of the presidential couple in Europe. The university community and other citizens at home and abroad have condemned such abominable and anti-patriotic acts carried out in Europe. It is holiday time and holiday makers are in earnest doing or looking for holiday jobs to generate income. In tonight's newscast, we explore the ease with which these holiday jobs come by and how the holiday jobbers fare in them. And finally, in sports, the finals of Cameroon's Cricket and Handball Cup will be played this weekend alongside Elite One matches, where Group A leader Coton Sport plays Tonnerre in Garoua. That's how we end the 7 p.m. tonight. Good night and catch you.
I urge you once again to put on your face masks, to wash your hands regularly, and to consult a physician or any other health personnel if you notice any symptoms. This is the only way to save lives and to curb the spread of the virus.